to learn about the LIT program. Yep. Thank you for being with us and investing this time to learn about the program and how you can best support your leaders as they go through the program. I want to invite you to ask any questions that come up as we go along. You can type those into the chat box. You can just come off a mute and ask the question. We're pretty relaxed as we go through this. I just want to make sure that you have all the answers to what we're doing. For those of you that I haven't had a chance to work with, which I don't think there are very many on this call that I haven't worked with yet, but a couple maybe. Hi, everybody that knows me already. But for those of you that don't, I'm Sam Thompson. I am your LIT program manager, which means I get to partner with TrueU to work with facilitators, build an experience, and really make sure that content is aligned with achieving the goals that we want to accomplish with this group so that we help them become stronger, better leaders. And I get to partner with Marissa, who is my TrueU partner. And Marissa, say hello and introduce yourself to the group.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. It's so great to see so many familiar faces and names. I am the TrueU program manager, as you know, and so my role is to make sure that the program runs smoothly from beginning to end, to make sure that the leaders and you as managers have what you need to make sure this is a great learning experience. I come alongside Sam. We work very well together to ensure that this program runs smoothly. And if you have questions throughout the program, Sam's already going to say it again, but please know that you can reach out to us at any time.
Well, welcome everybody. And as you might imagine, this is LIT 31. So we've done this a few times, and Marissa does an amazing job of communicating all the expectations, keeping everybody engaged and up to date with what's going on in the program, where they need to be, and also keeping you informed so that you know what your folks are experiencing, so that you can engage with them and have conversations with them and support them throughout that experience. To give you a little bit of context on the overall drive of these programs, I manage 3 different programs with TrueU, and Marissa manages the Leadership Academy, and it engages leaders in 3 different places. The first on the far left there you see is our Emerging Leader Program. It is a program that is designed to help people really do self-reflection, understand what it means to be a leader, understand who they are and what they value and what's important to them, understand how they show up in the workplace and how others might perceive them, and really start shaping their vision of where they want to go, who they want to be, and how they want to show up as leaders. It's a phenomenal program that does some familiar things that you may already know about, like emotional intelligence, strength finders. The DISC workplace program are just a few of the things that we do in that program, as well as like emotional intelligence. So a lot of really good in-depth look at who am I, how do I want to be, and where do I want to go as a leader. Then we move into the program that your folks are joining, which is our LIT program, the Leader in Training program. And this program is designed to get people a little more focused on how their leadership shows up in managing and guiding others in their careers. And so it really is a little bit more tactical, while it also still layers in good self-awareness as well as awareness of others and that outward awareness so that they can learn how to go about leading people in a more effective way. And then we go to our third level program there, which is our Advanced Leader program. And the Advanced Leader is the more strategic focused area of leadership. It is the area where we're challenging folks coming into that program to think on a broader scale about the legacy that they're leaving and the impact that they're having that ripples through an organization beyond just the people that they have one-on-one management relationships with, to that trickling effect that they have across the organization around vision, alignment to a vision, getting execution accomplished, and really driving environments where people are able to show up and be their very best. And so those 3 programs are what we have as the overarching theme around Leadership Academy at TrueU. LIT is our oldest program, so I think we're only on cycle 5 with the emerging leaders, and we're on, Marissa, where are we at with the Advanced Leader 4? With the Advanced
Oh,
Leader
I'm sorry. Advanced Leader, we're getting ready to launch Advanced Leader 6 in the summer.
only 6 this year, so we'll
Yeah.
launch that later in the year. So as I describe those programs, some of you may already know about these programs, some of you may not. Marissa and I are both always available to answer any questions that you have about those programs. If you're thinking, oh, I wonder if I should put this person in this program or that program, we're happy to engage. It looks very linear. It doesn't have to be linear. We've had people go through LIT and then come back and sign up to attend the Emerging Leadership. There are different outcomes, different experiences, and there's value in both of those classes. The advanced leaders may be a little more restrictive in that we want somebody to be at that strategic level of leadership before they enter that program to get the most value out of that program. But again, any questions on those programs, we're happy to answer them and engage with you in conversation about that at any time. In addition to seeing Marissa and me every time they come to a workshop, these are the other facilitators that we've lined up to support their growth and development through the LIT program. Stacy Aldridge will be there at kickoff this week. She's actually going to lead the DISC class for them. Missy Shopshire leads a couple of classes for us around strategic thinking and coaching skills. We have Darren Slack, who comes in and teaches a class on outward inclusion and leadership. And then we also have Tim Street, who is a guest speaker that comes in from Shepherd Community Center. He does a class that he does in the community called Poverty 101, or a shortened version of that, which is incredibly powerful, getting people to think about who they work with and how they might see those people in different lights. So that's the entire team of facilitators. I, of course, do teach a couple of classes as well. So that is the lineup that they're going to experience over the next 12 weeks. One key focus, and that is to make these leaders stronger and better. And we do that with these three key objectives that we've outlined. First objective, elevate their competence and their confidence to be able to lead most effectively. And we do that through the other two. One, building more clarity on what it means to be a leader and how to manage people effectively. And two, elevating their understanding of themselves, as well as being able to see and understand other people more effectively so that they're able to collaborate, work with them, lead them in a way that solves problems and gets results. Those are our objectives. That's our focus for LIT program. Now, here's the class, and I should mention that this, along with everything else that I'm talking about in this session that we're doing today, is all going to be sent to you. Marissa has really perfected communication, and you will get all these details. She's also going to give you a one-page overview of each of the classes that you see on the screen right now. Our hope is that as you get those one-pagers, the kind of highlights of each of these classes, that it will spark conversation between you and the person that you're sending through the LIT program, and give you an opportunity to say, hey, I know you went to decision-making and strategic thinking. What were a couple of the key things that you took away from that, and how are you going to use that? Because what we know about learning, especially adult learning, is people are really busy. Their day-to-day jobs don't go away. And so they come to the class for a day, and then they're inundated with things that they missed during the day that they were away to go to class. And so having some kind of follow-up conversation from you helps it get a little stickier, helps them think about, what am I actually doing with this and what is important for me to remember? And so that partnership helps us maximize the outcomes that you get from putting someone through a program like this. And so we provide those one-pagers that highlight key class concepts that you can then engage with them and support that learning and application.
So you've already done that today? Yeah.
So I want to take a quick breath here. Marissa, have I missed anything so far? And I also just want to make sure if there are questions that popped up about anything I've shared so far, that you have a chance to ask those before I go into a little bit more detail about some of the requirements for graduating from the program.
I don't think so. I think you've covered it very well. I did drop the LIT Manager talking points. You're going to get it in your email as well. But if you want to grab it here and save it on your desktop, it's just a great way for you to have it conversations during your one-on-one.
Awesome. Any questions? All right, I'm going to keep on moving us forward then. Here's a big change, especially for those of you that I know have been to many LIT graduations and around LIT for a number of years. We've been listening to feedback, and some of the feedback that we've heard around graduation is, why is it so late? It's so hard to come to graduation and then live the rest of our lives. And so we took that to heart. We've been trying to figure out, okay, how can we do the schedule a little bit differently to move graduation more into business hours and still make it feasible for folks. And so we've rescheduled graduation. So now, instead of doing graduation from 5 to 6:30, we've moved it up so that we are scheduling graduation to be an afternoon experience that will start at 1 o'clock and be done by 2:30, allowing people to either go back to the office or wherever they want. Our hope is, as Marissa and I kind of talked through, how do we reschedule this to make it make the most sense? We're still doing a capstone group in the morning of the graduation, but that'll give folks that maybe have to travel in a little bit distance to be there for the graduation on the same day that they travel in for the capstone. Perhaps they can go to lunch and have celebration, or you can take your leader to lunch on the way to graduation and have a little bit of celebration going in to our capstone. And Marissa will probably provide you desserts of some sorts as we come in from that, so you can go have a nice lunch with your leader and then come and have dessert with us during the graduation experience. Marissa, I hope I just didn't promise something that you weren't planning for, but if I did, sorry, I just did.
That was a good promise. I like it.
So At any rate, you should have this already on your calendar. Marissa sends out calendar invites. We're gonna graduate LIT 31 on June 26th at 1 o'clock. And we really hope that you can join us. We're going to also ask that you bring along any other leaders in your organization that would be important to bring, and let us know that so Marissa can get them invited as well. You'll see at the bottom of this slide, the graduation requirements are that they come to all the classes and complete the classes, that they do a reflection paper that I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes, and that they engage and do a capstone presentation and an overall LIT experience reflection statement. And so the capstone presentation, we're sharing a lot of details on this slide. You don't have to read them all, but for the folks that aren't going to be with us, they'll be able to see all these details as well. But we asked the teams of graduates to work together and pick one of the classes that they experienced and then present around that class. So we want them to come in and tell us what inspired the class to pick the team to pick this particular class. So why did they feel it was an important one to cover? And what were the key concepts from the class that really resonated with them? We asked them to tell us why the class and the concepts are important to use as leaders, and what the risk or downside is if a leader doesn't develop themselves and use those skills in an effective way. And we do that with a layer of putting it in context of real world examples. So those are the 4 key elements there that we asked them to talk about. What are the class? What's the upside, downside? How did it impact them individually? And how does it show up in the real world? And so they deliver about a 20-ish minute presentation around that with some time for questions and answers. And then each of the individuals will then also make an individual reflection statement that shares overall what they took away from the LIT experience and how it was of value to them and how it's going to impact their leadership moving forward. And so that's part of the capstone. Each of the capstone teams will be scheduled individually. And once Marissa has a schedule and the team's broken up, we will send those invitations to you, so you'll be able to put those on your calendar as well.
One thing I would say about
is the LIT reflection paper, and the reflection paper is an opportunity for the LIT participants to share something about each of the classes that resonated for them. And so at the end of the LIT experience, we do require that each of the participants submit an LIT reflection paper that highlights what they took away from each class, how they're going to use it, and what their core commitments are, leaving the program to continue to grow and to continue to apply what they learned through the LIT experience. And so we ask them to write that and deliver it to us. We collect all of those, and then we also send those out to you. So after graduation, we will send out their papers to you so that you can review them, and again, make the training and learning sticky and have conversations with them about what they wrote in that paper and how you can support them in their continued growth and development as leaders. So another breath here. What questions do you have about the capstone or the reflection paper or how we approach all of that? Marissa, anything to add? Feel free to jump in here.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say is if there's a day on either June 25th or 26th that you would prefer to have your leaders capstone, let me know. I know some people are in Fort Wayne, or even if you're on the south side of Indy and it's more convenient for you to come up just on the one day on the 26th, I'm happy to work around that when we schedule the capstone teams. Easier to know that ahead of time. So if you have that, just email me which date works better for you if you're out of town or whatever. So I will also ask the leaders that same question. So
Perfect.
Try to be accommodating.
Thanks, Marissa.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you help? So from our perspective, your role with this LIT program is as pivotal as our role. So thank you for those that have already completed that pre-manager assessment, telling us about your leader and telling us kind of the good and the hopeful that you are bringing with that leader as they come into the workshop. That helps Marissa and I kind of frame this class up and talk to our facilitators in an effective way. It's also important, if you haven't shared expectations with that leader, make sure you have a conversation with them around why you chose them, why you are sponsoring them, what you hope that they get out of this. So what you wrote in that reflection or that pre-assessment to us, we hope you're communicating to them as well. We want them to be really clear on why you've given them this opportunity. And I think that opportunity is a really important thing to frame, because Marissa and I have literally had a couple people come to classes over the years that said, I don't know, I must not be doing something right, so they told me I had to go to training, right? That's not what this is. This is a huge investment, and I think it's important for them to know, hey, let's put this into context. we are part of True You. We pay money to be part of True You and get the opportunity to send people to these programs. And we pick you because you have potential, right? You have potential. And this is a huge investment. You're giving them 6 days of training and all of this time to be away from the workplace. So make sure that they understand that investment and the value of that investment and why you chose them and giving them this opportunity to be in this program, I think is so important and will help frame them and set it up for the greatest level of success. That fourth bullet point there, make sure you're taking a look at those 101, the highlight and learning pages that Marissa sends out to you and having conversations with your folks as you support the training and development. With the capstone, have a conversation and help them think through what to do with their capstone if they're a little bit uncomfortable doing that. It really does just focus on the class that they experience, but if there is a question that they have about that, give them some support and encouragement around that capstone. And then the final point is stay in touch with Marissa, stay in touch with me. If there's any questions that pop up from you, from your leader along the way, anything that we do in the class that's like, I'm not really sure what that was supposed to emphasize, please reach out to us. Give us an opportunity to have a conversation with you so that we can clarify, that we can support, and we can make sure that this is the best experience it can be for you and for them and for True You and the entire learning community around leadership development. So with that, again, I want to offer up an opportunity for you to throw out any questions that you have. Any questions for me before we start wrapping up the call? Well, it's great seeing some faces and some names that I have loved working with in the past. I look forward to seeing you all at graduation, if not sooner. Thanks for taking the time to be with us this morning and get the down low on the new LIT program. We're super excited to be kicking off this program with the new group of leaders on Thursday and really grateful that you trust us with their development and giving us the opportunity to work with them.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us. I did drop in the chat the LIT landing page. That way you guys can look and see whatever is on tap for your leader. Just kind of is one place to shop for everything. So thanks for joining us. We'll see your leaders on Thursday.
And Marissa and I are going to hang out here for a minute. You're welcome to come in and chat with us. But if you got what you needed, thanks and see you later.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Hey, Marissa and Sam, I have a quick question. It's Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Thank you for the great overview. For this leader in training, do you know how many of those going through have direct reports versus not?
Yeah, I do have a list. I was just looking at this. Most of them, I would say 2/3 probably have direct. Well, not quite 2/3 have direct reports. I need to do a little research a little
Okay,
bit,
so
but just a
more
quick
than
overview.
not. I think that's the part. Like as we've gone through all our managers, now
Yeah.
we're sending two people. Where Kelsey has team lead responsibilities, Lindsay
Right.
doesn't have any managerial responsibilities. I just want to make sure she's in the right class.
Yeah.
Which she is. But she has influence at a higher level with working with all the
Absolutely.
managers and leaders. So that's why I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's why I thought for this one and with Kelsey that it's appropriate for her.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah, I just did a little search on my spreadsheet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of the leaders do not have any direct reports. 7 out of
Okay.
26. So
Okay.
And our facilitators will have always done a good job of making sure that folks are thoughtful about, hey, you don't necessarily have to have a
Still
direct report
applies.
to apply these skills, right? You can
Right.
coach people that are peers. You can do this as a project lead, as an influencer. And so they're pretty good about making sure people are really contextualizing how do I use these skills and what makes sense to me.
Great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll be a great contributor by all means.
She's going to be awesome. She's so
Oh, yeah.
excited. I
Oh,
saw, yeah.
yeah.
She's
Very
been
much.
waiting her turn, she said.
She has.
Yeah.
So I'm really, and we already had like 2 or 3 people say we're finishing our performance review cycle now. They're like, hey, can I get enrolled in that? And they're like, I really want to get them enrolled in the fall, but from budgetary standpoint, it's like, I think it's gonna be next year. We'll have to figure it out.
I
But I'm
understand.
trying
glad
to
there's
think about,
excitement around it.
do we think about like the merging leaders instead of the
Yeah.
LIT for some of the, because now the rest of the people that are coming in, they don't have. So I think maybe that could be an offsite if somebody else has the questions to
Yeah.
think about and help me evaluate what that looks
Where they
like.
should go. We're happy
Right.
to talk through each individual
Okay.
person. So let us know.
We
Stephanie.
love the emerging leader program too. So happy to go into detail with the classes that are in there. If you haven't seen that yet or had much experience with it, you want to you want to sit down, I'd be happy to visit with you and go over all the details of the Emerging Leader Program, and you can decide what is the right place for some of those folks. But it really is a very cool program.
Thank you very much. Have a good
You're
afternoon.
welcome. Yeah,
Happy
you
St.
too. Bye,
Patrick's Day.
Stephanie.
See you. Happy
Thanks.
St. Patrick's Day. Mike, are you there? Cameron, were there questions or things?
No, I apologize. I came in late, got stuck in another meeting, couldn't get out.